We can all use a little bit more wisdom in our day, so here's some divine insight to help us today. Sexual temptation is so strong in our society and our culture today, but really it's always been that way. And it's not surprising that Solomon would have a lot to say about the dangers of sexual temptation and sexual sin. This week, what we're going to do is we're going to look at some of the Proverbs in which Solomon talks to us and warns us about the dangers of sexual immorality. I want to start off in Proverbs chapter 5 in verse 3, where Solomon says, "For the lips of an immoral woman drip honey, and her mouth is smoother than oil, but in the end she's as bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death, her steps lay hold of hell. Lest you ponder her path of life, her ways are unstable, you do not know them." Solomon just points out that the appeal of sexual sin is it's going to be so exciting, so pleasurable. And many times we see that and we don't see the consequences that would take place because of that. In Proverbs chapter 7, Solomon is recounting a story of where he saw a young man seduced by a married woman. And he tells that story, and he talks about the conversation that this seductress had with this young man. And here's what she says in verse 18. "Come, let us take our fill of love until the morning. Let us delight ourselves with love. My husband's not at home. He's gone on a long journey. He's taken the bag of money with him, and he will come home on an appointed day." This is going to be so exciting and so pleasurable, and there won't be any consequences of it. My husband's gone. He won't find out. We'll get away with this. It'll just be a night of pleasure. But Solomon goes on to say, that verse 21, "With her enticing speech, she caused him to yield, and with her flattering lips, she seduced him. Immediately he went after her as an ox goes to the slaughter, or as a fool to the correction of the stocks, till the arrow struck his liver, as a bird hastens to the snare. He did not know that it would take his life." The temptation of sexual sin often clouds our vision to see the real consequences of it. And just as Solomon says here, as an ox goes to the slaughter, he did not realize that this action, giving into this sexual sin, would cost him his life. But it does. In Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 26, Solomon says, "For by means of a harlot a man is reduced to a crust of bread, and an adulteress will prey on his precious life." Same chapter, verse 32. "Whoever commits adultery with a woman lacks understanding, and he who does so destroys his own soul. Wounds and dishonors will he get, and his reproach will not be wiped away." Today, let's walk in wisdom by always remembering that the price for sexual sin is very high. Don't let Satan deceive us into thinking that it's harmless. So, walk in wisdom by heeding the instruction that God gives us. Thanks for watching today. If you found this to be beneficial, please follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you'd like to know more about the Bible, you can contact us at quinn.church@yahoo.com or come visit us at one of our regular services. Have a blessed day.